Hello everybody, and of course welcome back to Dickie's videos where no war game remains unplayed. Further ado, here we are again with Field of Glory 2. This is a tactical review of my first round of the Syracusan versus Carthaginian in the rise and fall of Carthage. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, after each Field of Glory video upcoming soon, I'll be playing the game, but then of course after I will be tactically reviewing my choices and showing you a quick rerun of what I've done. So this is of course the first one I'm going to do. Like I said, please comment below. These are just all based experiences of what I envisioned the battle finding out. I've also had conversations with some people on the Field of Glory 2 Discord about what they've done on this, and it's been really interesting. So let's start away. You've seen the first video of the deployment. I will link it in this video, but also I will link the played battle, so you don't have to listen to me here talk through. So we're gonna have a quick 10 minutes looking through. So here we are, the Syracusan forces. As I remember, there is of course the rough terrain to the right side here, which I assumed the Carthage player could take advantage of by placing medium troops in there. Of course, as you can see, most of my cavalry is on the left side, which is going to be pushing to the left there. And also we have of course the light cavalry here in support of the cavalry to push to that left side. So of course the main purpose of the light cavalry is to harass his cavalry. The main of course decision of the this front line here is to just harass their front line, but as also you can see, I've got a couple of... delete that again. As you can see, I've got a couple of the pellets, and I think CM Speedy mentioned about this. The pellets there, which are swordsmen, which are slightly better in combat against his troops. So as you can see, we've got our light line here. I do apologise, I'm trying to get used to this software that I'm using. So as you can see, we are trying to push forward as best we can with cavalry left, like I said, and of course you can see most of my infantry is all heavy foot. So this is I think this is a vital piece of terrain for this match. I think you can avoid it, which I have done here, by using lots of mediums, but also it uses the Carthaginian player as a good focal point for his line. So as you can see, if the Carthaginian player wanted to do, he could do a defensive line around here, using that as a blocking force and pulling my forces in this way, and then doing all sorts of shenanigans with cavalry and all sorts to that top left side. So there is options. I think that piece of rough terrain, but also, which I didn't mention before, is the piece of Impossible River there, which is a good blocking point between my infantry line and of course his cavalry line here. So as you can see, there's a nice little split all the way through there, which you can either send some forces this way or some forces this way, which I do in this thing. So we're going to click play. I might stop it at a time and have a little conversation of what I did, why I did it, and what I'll do better next time. So we're just going to click play, if it lets me, and then we're just going to go through it. So as you can see, we're just talking about his deployment. My face behind me will vanish after this. It's just the way I recorded for the first one. So there we go. Here's his forces. So interesting look here. As you can see, he's got all of his cavalry to the left side, which of course is going to envisage this fight on the extreme left we're going to fight. Also lots of heavy foot, the African spearmen, and one thing which I did like about his list, he had two selections of veteran African spearmen to the rear to back up. You see, it's a hard thing really. Do you put them on the front rank to be shot up or in the rear? It's a mixed bag really. Unfortunately, in the back, they're not going to be fighting straight away. They're going to be taking a couple of turns. But also, as you can see to the right side, he has lots of medium troops, the Phoenician, a couple of Liguigan guys, and also a block of lights there, So an interesting setup so far for him. I believe he's done correct in what he should have done. But we'll have a little look and have a bit more of a play. So we're just going to play through this here again. So I'm just talking about the lights. So he's got the African spearmen in the rear, and of course all the mediums to the right side, which is brilliant because he's going to use that that piece of rough terrain as an anchor point for my right, his left flank, and it is very interesting. I got quite stuck here, and I was thinking about what to do, but it's not impossible. Like I said, mostly all I've chosen is heavy foot, and of course, as you can see, I'm moving all my light cavalry to try and disorganise his cavalry engagement, and of course all my cavalry splits to that left side to go up to that way to cause some hassle. We will skip ahead a couple of minutes, and this is all my turn. This is his first turn, so as you can see, the cavalry now coming down to that left side to counter my cavalry. His light's now moving up on the right side to have this little bit of a squabble fight. As you can see, medium troops taking that piece of rough terrain. That's perfect. That is a perfect piece of terrain to be defended for him. As you can see, he has, we're going to pause that there and just have a little bit of a talk. He's got, what's that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units. And this is, I would say, his first mistake. That's 8 units that has been now taken up in his mediums. These mediums all take cohesion checks against my heavy foot, so that's an advantage. So he's kind of nerfed himself a little bit there. I think I would have gone half the number of units, because I think it's the 1, 2, 3, 4. I think you can fit 4 units on there and happily defend that rough terrain. I think going 8 units takes a lot of points away from his main line. As you can see, I've deployed a commander in my a general in my warbands, because that's impact. Remember, in here, the units here are not impact troops, and this is specifically why I did this in this list. 2 good impact troops, lots of I think defensive spearmen or offensive spearmen. I can't remember which they are at the moment in time, because I forgot. That's the reason I did it. These are 2 hard-hitting units that you'll see will actually fight quite well in the upcoming battle, but also he spent too many points in his medium troops there, which I think he should have really just half that number of points. I think that's a high number of points, and so this is just where the battle line meets. So like I said, this river here definitely is a focal point, and also blocking, because it kind of divvies the cavalry fight up from the infantry fight on this whole battlefield. And as you can see, I tried to engage him on the rough terrain with the pellets. I do hopefully see him speeders watching this, and I completely agree. If you got any other conversation when I bring to this, just drop a comment below, click that like and subscribe button, guys, because you are fantastic. And also follow this little playlist, because this will continue to go on for all the tournaments I play in. As you can see, he did really well in actually supporting his cavalry push here with a selection of lights here, which are going to now engage and cause more hassle. I did try and counter it with one of my units to this left side, but I think I could have really supported more, because I think he's got a slight more advantage here because of that. But still playing well. But like I said, one mistake with the medium troops. He's used too many in this list. As you can see, moving the light troops up initially to start harassing. My cavalry, I needed to form a line with my cavalry. I can't have them all bunched up. Cavalry bunched up is not a great thing. And one mistake I make here, which I will say here, is I put this unit too far to the left. It's too far ahead. It should have stayed at least on this piece. It's like here, at least in support of my other unit and the other archers, as you will see in a second or two when it's his turn. But yeah, I think I went too far, because that unit would either be charged, chucked off the field and come back later. So still not good. We've got one lucky disruption on that right side with his thing. So as you can see there, the two separated. And I think I got quite a couple of lucky charges on this left side, which I'm pretty happy about. Yeah, we'll just watch what he does. This was a relatively short game, I've got to say. I think it was quite dramatic with all the things that happened here. So we're going to push this further on. So as you can see, we're now fully engaged on the right with the pellets. One mistake as well again. Medium troops out of the rough terrain. Like I said, there's 4 spots there that he needs to keep in there. I mean, to be honest, if he got really aggressive, he could have even pushed him more onto that right side. But my plan is to completely ignore that rough terrain. You see, even in that, you are using that terrain. Even though I'm not using that terrain, it is still a key factor in this field. The fact is that it's funneling the Carthaginian force, the Syracusan forces into this small place here, so it's limited that battlefield. People, like I said, somebody did say it makes no difference, just avoid it. Yeah, but it's still making an impact. Regardless of you saying you didn't use it, it's still making a significant impact of thing. And this is why I took more of an elite force, and more of a joint force with that. So if you didn't use it and it blocked you, you used it. There you go. So as you can see, the cavalry attack, and like I said, I think I got slightly too aggressive with that left side light cavalry unit. Of course, I'm trying to hammer away or trying to limit his cavalry use. You see, one thing I was surprised, I'll just pause that there, he took no chariots. Chariots in the Carthaginian list, which when you see my Carthaginian game are brilliant. They would really mess the Syracusan cavalry up, because they're amazing. They're amazing. Unless he throws a lot of units at them, it's really bad. So here we go. We're engaging his front line. I was trying to get flanked, but he moved his medium troops too quickly towards that rough terrain. So I played a little bit aggressively on this right side. I thought the pellets would have at least dropped another cohesion level on this right side. This is why I think I charged up that quickly. It's nice to look back on the field and think about what I could have done wrong. So I had no doubt here that I'm just going to push forward with the warband, with the 2 warbands on them flanks, and everybody in defence. But also, I was quite worried about a cavalry unit sneaking this way, and you'll see where I do move a unit up to defend here, to block, to have some sort of blocker. But of course they're going to be engaged by the cavalry, and of course just having a good old time there. Okay, as you can see, the warband moving up. Warband and the heavy troops will really wreck the medium troops there. I mean, like I said, he's took too many here. I mean, I love the citizen hoplites, the African spearmen in that front rank. Putting the sub-generals in the right place for the right POAs, which is, of course, in the 2 warbands and in 1 or 2 of the hoplite units. Here we go. Like I said, really not happy in that placement of that left. And he goes for a charge, which puts me in a fantastic situation here, where he has actually, he's put himself at advantage, where he's more likely to flee here, and he goes straight up. Remember, that's got a lot better POA here. There we go. On roughly equal terms there. So that was an overcharge straight the way down. So giving me the next impact phase. I thought we were going to literally hang on for a turn or two in like a stalemate. And luckily he didn't. Did he do an overcharge there? So we do that again. So he moved that unit up, then he charged in there, which is not a bad move, because if that would have thing, remember their facing is still, if I'm, please quote me if I'm wrong, their facing is still this way for this turn. So it will take 1 turn for them to turn around to face this way and then be vulnerable to flanks on this right side. So I don't know if that helped me or not. Yeah, I don't know if that really helped me. So here we go again. We moving. So I think now his mediums are going to try and cause hassle on this thing, but too many medium units. I will say that throughout all this video. Of course, the African spearmen not really using any of their armoured veteran advantages right now. There they go. So I was thinking there was a nice little gap through here. This was very nice if I could hold this centre line. And here we go. I changed the POA of the general. Nope, we missed, which was unfortunate. And I think I try. My thing now is we're on his back line. We're all over the place here. What I was trying to do here was trying to get an overrun. So this unit was already here. I was hoping this unit would evade and then push to the left side, but it didn't work where I wanted it to. That was my whole feeling there. So fortunately, this left side is an awful goddamn mess. It's everywhere. I've just thought, you know what, I'm going to throw it in. And also this hopper, like, he's played really well in bringing this unit here to support, or not even that, it's the zone of controls that it's going to push into this field. So the zone of controls here, remember, it's the primary and the secondary, the primary and secondary zone of controls, which he's now blocking units up. So even though that hoplite unit is slow as bloody, it's like an old lady, it's the zone of controls, it's stopping doing some for certain things. So good and bad. And I think I can't remember what happens here now because I've slept. So we'll click play. He holds, of course, because he has all the POAs here, because he's armoured, and I think it's the veteran unit. I don't know if that's the veteran unit or not, but it's not great. And I tried to evade and get the lights there, but unfortunately not. And I think, okay, we need to support this left side by chucking some hoplites there. Here we go. This is what I love. This is what I love. The POA there. That's all it was. The POA, the massive POA of the general, the impact troops. Remember what impact troops are good, because that can disorder people just in the impact phase. Never mind in the combat phase. There we go. I lose POA there. We're both. I think we're both. Let's just switch back just a second. So what was he? Citizen hoplites against his. Let's pause that when we do. What charge do I do? So his African Spearman offensive. So that was just bad luck on my sense. That was just bad luck. I was rolling the dice. I think it was in my favour. Can we just play that back again? I can't remember the. So we got 97 to get that double, and he dropped twice there, and we were looking at 12, 13. So it was even Stevens. That was just unlucky that I got that disruption. And there we go with the combat already engaged on that centre. Remember, I got these quite good units. Like a lot of these stats are in between, really. They're not massively in my favour, but they're just evens. So I'm still thinking here that I'm still defending on that right side. And of course, if I can throw another unit down this gap, this is what I was thinking would be a great thing. So roughly equal terms, moving up the hoplites to defend this right side more, because we're expecting these medium troops to push down on this bear on the flank right. So we need to put all our zone of controls to this right side to block anyone else coming in, and of course this side here. So we've still got to be careful. We've overplayed our card just a little bit there, but I still think we're in a good position. And here we go again, just we're trying to shoot down his main line with some archers. There we go, still didn't lose that cohesion. I thought that unit would at least drop, and this now hoplite unit, which is fighting now, is in a bad POA advantage. It's getting ground down and also disrupted the POA advantage, changing that percentage modifier. And I'm thinking I need to push units straight through that little gap. Unfortunately, that disruption on the left is a bit of a pain. So I think I was still happy, but like I said, still unhappy with that unit on the left because it's particularly unsupported. Got a rally on the right. I think we're down to his turn again. As you can see, the medium troops on the right side now pushing in against us. There you go. This is this combat. Oh, it's brutal that every time, but we luckily get pushed back here, which is to our advantage, but also shuts that line down. Which was slightly unhappy because there was a nice little gap that I could have tried and fed through, but now it's gone back flush with us all, so we can't push through there. So mixed bag there with that pushback. Here come the African Spearmen. That's what does bad. His general drops on the African Spearman unit, which then disorders one of the light units, medium troop, but also one of the mercenary hoplites. But like I said, another mistake is, of course, the fact is a couple of these medium units are not in this rough terrain, and they will get absolutely hurt by a lot of these heavy troops here. You know, even though I'm playing very blocked together on this right side, this is where the disadvantage is. We've got slight advantage pushed on this here. African Spearmen are turning around here to look at us, but I think overall it's looking good for us. So we're about halfway through the battle at this point. I'm feeling very confident, even when it's 0-0. I think the Syracusan forces have got the advantage here, not using that rough terrain. But like I said, it's still a feature on there that could be quite annoying. And of course, there's the hoplites pushing our troops, which were lucky. Like I said, it got a bit messy on this left side with the cavalry. So what I looked in was this unit could not be charged. He got charged away. I don't think he can see me. His line of sight is here. I can't remember if these guys get charged, but we'll see. But remember, his line of sight is there. And I don't think he charges here. But like I said, that unit got lucky, because otherwise it would have got barrel charged again in the rear, and that would have been gone. I would have struggled on that left flank more. But the cavalry thing, I don't mind it being a mess, as long as it's not a mess near the right with all the fires. And there's the charge from that cavalry. I'll just take that off. No, he doesn't charge, he charges down, and we evade back, which this, you will see further on, comes to my massive advantage here. And the combats, which are very, very even Stevens, because we're bare enough the same infantry, and it's just down to thing. But of course, luckily the warband break the mercenary hoplites and just push forward. So I'm thinking here, this is the little gap I'm thinking about. Can I get through there? Can I? But I think this is his secondary zone of control. These, unfortunately, warband aren't doing anything. So I'm thinking I need to advance to this left side and take advantage of that little gap. And here as well, I'm thinking, do I move that hoplite unit to the right or keep it defending against the cavalry? But I think, you know what? Bugger it. We're going to throw it against the African spearmen, because the percentage there, and we get a good disruption on that really expensive unit. But of course, I need to support the warband on the right. So here's the cavalry. We turn them around. We've been pushed back. We don't want to get onto that difficult slope, because of course we will think. But remember now, we're blocking his zone of control. We're keeping him very limited to what he can do. He could probably move one space and then move again, but he's very limited to what he can do right there. So even though it's a mess, we're making light of a bad situation with our cavalry. And like I said, the light cavalry on that left side are in some bad shape. You see, I don't understand why I fought that battle first. Looking at this again, I shouldn't have fought the worst combat first. I should have just held it out. And there we go. Our second lucky thing in this game. We get another double drop. Brilliantly given a little hole through there. And as you'll see in a second, two fragmented units on that centre line. So I think the line here, the push through here is going to be immense. Them two heavy foot units giving me time to turn to the left, but also the right. He's got to make a big decision with these. He's not pressuring me at all, so he's not put the pressure on. I think him being this far in that rough terrain, like I said, is an advantage, disadvantage. It's advantage because our forces are squashed together, but a disadvantage because they can't come off this rough terrain, because otherwise it's going to be a lot of pain for them. Okay, coming down to this next point. So we turn the veteran hoplites, mercenary hoplites around, because we know they don't need it anymore. Unfortunately, we're getting our pellets and light troops are getting a bit... Our arse has kicked to that right side. Didn't go as well as I expected. So they hold firm. And a lot of these combats are just even Stevens. But I get pushed back there. These guys are stuck here because of these light troops behind. Don't think that shit was intentional of me. But yeah, we're looking quite confident in this next turn. Especially them two fragmented units in that centre. I'd rather them two fragmented units on that far right breaking his turn. There you go. Of course, the mercenary hoplites taking up that zone of control to the left, meaning I can't charge. And here they come down again. Like I said, this cavalry stuff on the left was really bad, but it kind of pushed to my advantage a little bit. And I think that unit, which I'm looking at now, fought quite a lot of combats, and now it's on 3-on-1, actually survived that massacre. And the pellets get charged, but they magically disappear and run out of the way, which is brilliant. But if they got touched, they would just explode. Of course, now here come his medium troops off the rough terrain. This is third mistake with them things. Oh no, it's the second mistake. Just keep them off that rough terrain. The Phoenician foot are good. I can't remember if they're impact or not, but they will not stand up one-on-one with this thing. But this unit here has done amazingly. And I take him pushing down off here was a bad thing. He should have pivoted his line maybe on here, using that as an anchor point on that right side. And then, because this will definitely split forces up. So I think there was a couple of mistakes that it was quite evidently when I was playing my Carthaginian side, which you'll see very soon. And like I said, it's got a couple of units that are fragmented. The cohesion bubbles that are going on, even though we've... when did they get fragmented? There we go. It was in that combat. Sorry, we missed that. There you go. But then here we go here. Oh no, we're going to skip that here a little bit. There we go. So we do fight this combat in the centre, which remember, everybody in that little bubble is going to take cohesion checks. When you play Field of Glory 2, ladies and gentlemen, just remember that everybody here, if this guy breaks, everybody in any enemy models in that square will take cohesion checks and just drop, 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 drop. That's what you want. You want that. You want to drop them at the right time, and I think we did. So there we go again. We're going to massive holes opened up in this line. That cavalry that fled off the field is now on the left side. So this is me playing a little bit sneaky. And I got to say, the more I play Field of Glory, the more I don't abuse it, but the more I... So the point is here, I want this cavalry to stay. I don't want that to move. I'm going to have to charge this unit in, keep them there, even if it's acceptable loss, in my opinion. What can you consider a loss being without being detrimental to the rest of your army? I know this cavalry, because this cavalry needs to jump up the rear and break them. These guys are already in the midst of the battle. These guys are in the midst of battle as well. And of course, my guys from the left side can come down here eventually. So that's my thought for that. And I think I played it really well with what we got here. So remember, you've got to use situational things to your advantage. And there we go. I take it there's the general in there, even with the POA of the general. We realise we've got to do that. We've got to sacrifice that unit a little bit to take some pain. And of course, the javelin cavalry hitting that cavalry, killing it down again. So here we go again. We fight the unit on the right with the medium troops, which of course, remember the cohesion checks. Watch, drops the Ligurian foot there. Then we realise now he's disrupted. We're going to charge again. Breaking him down and then we'll charge again, because we know in the impact phase we can drop their cohesion down as long as it's not dropped before. So we got lucky, really lucky here. And all these medium troops are not going to fare well against these heavy troops, which they're not. They are dropping. And of course we get a really good fragment on the left centre, which opens up, and we're at 16% in 18 turns left, 6 turns into the game. So we've done pretty well, and we realise here that the flank's now been opened up on this centre. This unit just has to survive, because it's in a lot of pain. We've got this flank hopefully opening up into his turn, so he will break in his turn, will turn to the left, these guys will turn to the left, these guys will come and support here. Medium troops, which are trying to make up for the shortfall of the heavy troops, are failing, so all we have to do is sit and look at them on that rough terrain. We don't have to touch them, but like I said, the advantage of me not using the rough terrain is the fact is I have a selection of forces that have just to look that side to block them in, because even a medium troop can drop a heavy troop down. It's going to work just the same as any other troop. So remember, it's still being used even though it's not being used, if you get the gist, ladies and gentlemen. So it's still got troops there I've got to worry about. And let's see, I've moved a couple of units to look to the right now, and they auto break due to losses and disruption happened on the citizen hoplites in the rear, which was not a problem because he's disordered as well. But I know I've got a lot more troops in there. And of course, the light fight opens up back again on the right side, where most of the troops are just. And I think, they've got plenty of ammo. They can just unload on him. Cavalry unit in, it can't move. Now the guys on the rough terrain, I move to the right. You see, this is the unit I'm not worried about. They're worried about the warband against the armoured veteran hopper spearmen that disrupt them just there as well, actually. This unit here of citizen hoplites is playing amazingly. He just needs to hold. The job of these two units here is to hold that his entire line up. So here I'm 5 to 16%. I'm feeling very, very confident here at the moment in time. Mainly that a lot of his troops has failed cohesion checks, and the fact is we can hold the line. I love this list. I love this era of list. I really do. And actually bringing it back from the analysis I did, the units have worked, and the terrain. So remember, it's terrain. I'm not worried about the medium troops whatsoever, because they're going to come off that hill, come out of that rough terrain and die. So here, like I said before, I was playing the long game, not the short game here. He played the short game in engaging that hoplite unit, knowing full well that this unit is now stuck. This unit is one space away. I can be there and he be one space behind me, and I can still get that flank charge. I'm a risk taker and a heartbreaker. That is exactly what I'm going to do. So yeah, pretty good. And this is his turn, I think, here. And what luckily is the warband didn't break. They're not breaking. They're just getting some very lucky rolls there. But this unit in the centre is getting absolutely mangled. All I needed to do was to last this turn, because I was going to get a good couple of flanks here. So here he's starting to take the advantage on the right side with a lot of these medium foot. But like I said, the medium foot are not going to survive this. And that is his centre completely blown open here. But still happy with it. There's the dropping cohesion on the... they didn't drop cohesion, but they just took a test. It goes break, and yet again, watch. Everybody holds firm this time. But we've got to be careful of that flank of the Legion foot. And the medium foot did drop there, but everybody else is just hacking away. The two warband units, actually, funny enough, both engaged, both African spearmen units. There's the flank attack I was talking about. But being disrupted is better than anything. I think I realised I need to either turn left or right here. So one unit was going... oh, there you go. That's what I did. So one unit shifted up. This unit, which was facing here, shifted to the left, while this unit, which was facing to the left, could actually just pour to the left and get that flank charge to drop them to fragmented. And that's the best thing I could do. I should have really done that first. And they do actually just drop the once to fragmented and gone. There we go. So we still remember he's one space behind. And then there's that thing charging. I was so risky here on this left. But he drops 3 levels of cohesion there. His general died. He dropped his sword and went. So we got lucky even there as well. And then we decide, okay, we can charge our mercenary hoplites into here to keep hammering that advantage. And we realise, oh, flank attack because they ran away. You're laughing all the way there, laughing to the bank. Even though I know the mercenary hoplites will eventually, and then we could just follow behind again. If he would have tried to charge to the right behind my line, might have been a bit more better for him to do it. And we think we need to hold this line from the... So the medium troops haven't been completely useless, but we're having to defend this whole right side now. So this rough terrain, vital part of this field in changing the tactics and what's happening. Okay, so we know the pellets are back because they rallied up from fragmented, and then we're just literally now we're just now breaking his army. What we might do in a second is just fast forward a couple of turns to the end. But as you can see, the main tactics is avoid the rough terrain. We got a couple of lucky hits, and of course that unit's auto-breaking, but auto-breaking at the right time. I wasn't too bothered about that loss, just because the fact is it's over. It's over. And of course the mercenary, the warband, the general drops, but they don't fragment, which is brilliant. So they're going to be there hacking away, taking that vital unit away from the battlefield for a number of turns. So we're just going to skip ahead a little bit here. So yet again we get pushed back on the right side due to the African spearmen, but it kind of cements my line on that right side a little bit. And then we go harassing his cavalry on the left. So we're all set up for a couple more flank attacks here now, so I'm particularly happy. But the 24, the 8 to the 32 loss, 20% winning here, we're just playing pretty well. The melee on the left this will go well for me because we lose the cohesion check for the cavalry, but he decides to charge the giant javelin troops. But now he's in that zone of control. But I think I'll show you what I did here. So the combats are fighting here mostly, and he tried to charge the lights, but they evaded. Here he comes in with the African warband. African spearmen, sorry, African warband. African spearmen against the warband. The warband's played amazingly in this round, I gotta say. So I don't have to charge him with the medium troops. I can just sit there. As you can see, he got a double drop there and a pushback. So even cemented that right side even further. Okay, so the Phoenician troops dropped, like I said. Even though they're dropping, and they're in a bad position where they end up, the Syracusan we're laughing. And here I come to set the flank up for the African spearmen. The warband unit here is in a precarious situation. I need to get some support there as soon as possible. But that unit there, of course, is pushed through the lines. But that one unit holded 3 units up for a number of turns in that entire game. So this is the thing I do here. So, this is one thing I want to stop and talk about. He was in. Here is that cavalry. here's his primary zone of control. Remember, I could still see this unit. So remember, you have to see the unit before you can charge it. So the fact is, there I could not charge. I think there I could not charge either. I think there, where that other second control is. It took me to move to that unit there to then charge. And this is why I did that. And I think this is very understandable when you are zone controlled up like that, that you can do that. So we did that particularly well. And then as you can see now, we're probably going to charge that and go home. There we go. And then we block with the hoplite unit. But we don't drop twice, but we're happy enough to do that. And then we decide to charge the light troops, impact breaks, and off we go down to 26. Yep, backed away, having a laugh, but back into his cavalry unit. Not a problem whatsoever. Okay, just now we're realising we can break that unit on the right side, giving everybody a cohesion check, which luckily disrupts the Lugigan foot, breaks them, but also disrupts this unit of Phoenician foot. And then we charge back to the right. And then they overcharge into the flank, but no flank cohesion. But we're laughing still. The heavy foot there, he's not got a chance, especially being disrupted in the open. So the combat I don't like against the African spearmen. Still looking very well for us here. Like I said, we've got a couple of combats which aren't particularly in our favour on this left side, but at the moment in time we are about to just hit them. And the warband get fragmented. So we're going to skip this ahead because I think it's very just me shooting that unit up. So this is his turn. We're at 38%. So the warband are about to break. This is the thing I got really lucky with. And we won. That was it. Can you believe it? We'll wait till I get to a point in the battlefield where I can just discuss it. Here we go. So that was it. We won. We got extremely lucky. And I'll just have a quick overview before we end this video. As you can see, the cavalry fight was a big mess. I was expecting at least one of his units to just slip around here, but me pulling one of the mercenary hoplite units from here to defend that. So we had two battles really. We had all the cavalry on the left and one or two units of infantry. Probably mirror image, I would say. And also a massive fight to this right side. Like I said, the rough terrain didn't play a massive part, but the part it played in there, agree or disagree everybody, was the fact is it was blocking a lot of the forces, but we got really lucky with a lot of the he pulled out, he used too many medium troops, didn't use them effectively. If he would have maybe piled them onto this further right position where my head is here, it may have changed up the thing where I'd spread my line more to the right, but he kept them in this blob. I would have just had 4 units. 4 units there, that would have been particularly enough for us to do anything with that. So that was a couple of mistakes he made. I think I played well with putting the warband in them 2 units because they fought ferociously all the way through. One of my units just got really lucky there. He got unlucky here where his rank exploded and we could push back and forth. So overall, pretty good performance in my opinion. Please comment below how you think I did. Really enjoyed playing this this tournament. Hopefully everybody will click that like, that subscribe button and come back for more Field of Glory 2 tournament description, Tactica, or whatever I call it. I think of a fun name for it. But I'm glad I broke this down for you because I really enjoyed it. And like I said, click the like, subscribe button, guys, and we'll come back on another one. When my next Carthaginian game's done, we'll go back over it and have a look about what I did right, what I did wrong, what I think he did right. My opponent was amazing, and I really enjoyed that game, but he just got really unlucky. A very even Stevens battle that could have went both ways. So I'll see you on the next battlefield, folks, and bye-bye.